Welcome to Aussie Guy's Motorcycle Upgrades.
Guys, Aussie Guy here. This video is a brief owner's review of the Classic 250. When it was released in 2017, it actually had high bars here and it had dual purpose tyres here. They released it as a kind of a scrambler, but now they've taken those bars away and they've put clip-ons. So they're trying to sell it as a cafe racer, even though it's only called Classic 250. I think that's the look they've tried to go for. I'm going to give you a few pros and cons, which is pros is good things, cons is bad things, or not so good things about this bike. First I'll do the cons. For me, the first was the dual purpose tyres. Dual purpose means on the road, off the road. If it's a cafe racer, you're not taking it off the road. And I also found that with the dual purpose tyres, these are not, I've replaced them. With the dual purpose tyres, the steering in the front was extremely heavy, so I've put these road tyres on it, which has improved it dramatically in my personal opinion. So the dual purpose tyres is a con. Another one, and don't get me wrong, most of these cons, they're not major, but I just want to point them out. The seat. Now it's pretty sexy looking, but it's only got about that much foam, so it's very hard when you sit on it. And also the length. If you're a bigger person like me, you take up about this much space. Basically it's a single rider's machine. If you've got a girlfriend or a wife and kids, there's no way you're going to fit on this. So if you're going to buy this bike, it's just for one person. Another thing I found, and actually I found it very uncomfortable, is the rider's foot pegs. On most bikes, the foot pegs are on a spring, so they'll always spring back. But this one, if you lift your foot at traffic and your leg rubs against it because you're about to put your foot onto the foot peg, look, it folds up. So there you are with many cars and bikes behind you, all beeping their horn while you're trying to move ahead and find this with your foot to push back down. That's actually very dangerous. Another small thing here, on the brake pedal, they have this loop. And I'm sure they thought it was a safety feature so that you don't put your foot on the exhaust pipe. But often my foot will sit on top, so it's very high and you have to always move your foot to the side. I eventually got used to it, but I'm kind of thinking I might cut that off because I find it actually a little bit off-putting. The other thing is these bar end mirrors. They look great, they're nice and sexy, but once you get up to 25 kilometers an hour, everything behind you is a complete blur, so they're kind of useless, but they look good. The other thing that I want to point out is around on this side here. This is your foot gear lever. Here there's a metal post, and then your gear lever fits over that post. But there's no bushing inside here, so it's metal rubbing on metal. Eventually this will wear very loose and you can't fix that. This post will be worn, as will the gear change. So that's going to be a nightmare for some time in the future. And already now, look, I've done a couple of 100 kilometers, it's loose. So that's actually a very poor quality control issue for me. The other thing is the suspension. And it's a pro and a con. It's very firm, the front end and the rear shocks, they're very firm. So on a smooth road, it actually gives you a little bit more stability. But on the roads here in the Philippines, this hard suspension really shakes your bones. It's really uncomfortable. So it's a pro in that on a good piece of road, you can ride fast and it's nice. But on a bad piece of road, which is 99% of Filipino roads, well, especially in Mindanao, you get shaken around quite a lot. Okay, that's the cons. The pros, as I said, the suspension is firm, so on a good road, it actually feels very nice. It has upside down forks, which perform very well. It's got twin disc brake on the front and a disc on the rear, which make it look pretty sexy as far as I'm concerned. The other pro is it's a single cylinder, 2-valve, 250cc carburetted motor. you can work on it anywhere. You don't need special tools. It's not fuel injected where it's run by a computer. It's just a carburetor, and you can change that, and I'm going to in a future video put a flat slide on this. So one of the pros is it's a simple bike that you can actually increase the performance of, but it doesn't require you to have an engineering degree to actually tune it and improve it. So that's kind of a very brief overview. The question is, would I buy this again? Well, for me, I've got 2 or 3 other bikes, so this is a toy, to be honest. If I were a young man or a young woman, and I had a boyfriend or girlfriend and a family, forget it. You're not going to be able to ride this bike. So if you really want the Classic, and I love the lines, and that's why I bought it, buying motorbikes is an emotional thing. And I love the look of this bike, and I like riding it now that I've put the pipe on it. But it's not a practical machine, and that's what you would have to think about before buying it. So that's about it, guys. Any questions, just post below in the movie. Thank you very much.